Obviously, this is a very traumatic scene.
A tornado tragedy in Livonia. A massive tree crashes into a home, killing a toddler and critically injuring his mom.
The entire mass of the tree came down through the bedroom that they were staying in.
The storm came without warning.
You could just see branches going like a normal storm, but once you come outside, you're like, holy crap.
The National Weather Service tells Fox 2 it was a low-end EF1 tornado that left a wake of damage in the Wayne County community.
Out here, it's crazy devastation.
Tonight on The Edge, an unimaginable tragedy for a Livonia family. This massive tree fell through the bedroom of a home during severe weather, killing a 2-year-old boy and pinning his mother.
And they tried. The rescue effort was extensive, and it was heartbreaking, too. Fox 2's Jessica Dupnack joins us live with more on this rare EF1 tornado that came in so quietly. In fact, the sirens were never even set off, Jessica.
Yeah, folks in this neighborhood say they were absolutely taken by surprise. Now, I want to give you some perspective of some of the trees that were down in this neighborhood by the dozens. I'm about 5 foot tall, so just look how large this uprooted tree is, and it's very similar to the one that fell on the home, killing that 2-year-old little boy. His mother was also pinned for about an hour, conscious, as rescuers worked to get her from underneath. She is in critical condition tonight.
Crews worked tirelessly for over an hour, removing parts of the tree and lifting the tree with high-pressure airbags to extricate the victims.
Trapped beneath this massive 4-trunk hardwood, a mother and her 2-year-old little boy after an EF1 tornado ripped through this Livonia neighborhood Wednesday afternoon.
She remained conscious throughout most of the extrication. She was being treated by our paramedics while she was impinged by the tree.
A dozen chainsaws, 25 firefighters. But sadly, the 2-year-old died at the scene. His mother is in critical condition. Her 2-week-old baby in another room was also taken to the hospital, but is okay.
This was a tough day.
This was no ordinary storm. Have you ever seen anything like this? Oh, no. Roads blocked, dozens of trees uprooted in the neighborhood near Newburgh and Schoolcraft.
My husband's in the sunroom just looking. I says, what are you doing? Get in here. It's a tornado. But he said he saw the tree swirling in the air, and it ended up in our backyard.
No tornado sirens went off. Folks say the intensity came out of nowhere.
It was just a very quick pop-up storm, talking with the National Weather Service, and something that was just very unpredictable to determine.
Priority is getting the side streets back open and power back on, but it's a bad one.
This is definitely up there in the top 5. It's something, especially when you have a tragic situation such as this with a death, it's just, it's heartbreaking.
The damage, of course, can be fixed, but a family in disrepair after losing that little boy.
God bless their family.
There was also the child's grandmother that was in the home at the time. She was taken to the hospital, but is expected to be okay, along with that 2-week-old. Our thoughts are with that family tonight. Now, as far as efforts here in the neighborhood to clean things up, very much underway. You can probably hear chainsaws behind me. They've been going on since after this storm happened, right around 3:30. Lots of executives from the county and, of course, the city here saying their top priority is to get the side streets open as they've been blocked by some of these downed trees and get the power on, but it does not look like the power will be back on, at least in this neighborhood tonight. Reporting live in Livonia, Jessica Dupnack on The Edge.
Yeah, this tragedy in itself is just awful, but then you think about that mother for that hour, herself sustaining those injuries with her own baby next to her, her child. That kind of suffering, unimaginable.
That's exactly right, Roop, and we talked about this throughout the evening as we've been covering this story, really watching it unfold in real time, and you watch those first responders walking away from this scene, welled tears in their eyes, just looking completely defeated. When you're talking 25 chainsaws and all these first responders working, and it still took an hour, it just shows just the devastation and what they were working against in that situation.
Well, we're thinking about everybody there in that neighborhood and that family there in Livonia. Jessica Dupnack for us live tonight. Thank you.
People my wife works with told her, hey man, Rotary Park's pretty much kind of torn up. There was like a tornado that went down there.
The tornado damage extending to Rotary Park in Livonia. Several large trees came crashing down on park pavilions and across the grounds. The park will be closed indefinitely for cleanup.
I know, Taryn, you and I were talking during the 10 o'clock to Rich about how this can come about so quickly, and it leaves a lot of people with a lot of questions.
We keep hearing no sirens, not a lot of warning with this.
So there was not a tornado warning. It was a spin up on the line of storms that came through. It does happen. You know, the radar doesn't see everything, and when you get these spin ups, these tornadoes at the bottom of the thunderstorm, sometimes the radar doesn't see it very well. So,
and it happened quickly.
And it happened very quickly. This is a terrible reminder that we do get tornadoes here in Michigan. We don't get them very often, but we do get them, and June is the most favorable month for tornadoes here. So terrible reminder. Let's show you this cold front that came through today with the line of storms. Now, all the heavy weather is well off to our east. This line did fizzle as it approached Buffalo and Niagara Falls, but there it is this afternoon coming through between 2:30 and 5:30. Right now, still a couple of thunder showers down over Monroe County, a few more showers over Lake Michigan. Here's that Livonia tornado between 3:30 and 3:40, only on the ground for 9 minutes, but again, the wind's up to 95 miles per hour. Here's the velocity tool that we use, and this is not a great signature. Sometimes with tornadoes, we can see it very clearly defined. That was not the case in Livonia this afternoon. Right now, those thunder showers crossing Monroe County, they're quickly exiting into the western end of Lake Erie. 83 degrees before the storms came today, 68 degrees the low. Officially at Metro Airport, about a quarter of an inch of rain, but some of us had those torrential downpours, better than an inch of rain in spots. 64 in Howe, 64 in Lansing. The breeze is going to pick up tomorrow from the west, and it's going to be a cooler pattern that starts tomorrow night, lasts through the weekend. 68 Ludington, 55 up there in Marquette. So our cold front is now east of us, working away from the region. Tomorrow, a spotty shower chance in the morning, and then you can see this big upper level low is going to be spinning over the Great Lakes. Not a very spring-like pattern, more a fall-like pattern. For the rest of tonight, still a chance of a stray shower or storm, down to 62. Tomorrow, we're going to be back to 78 with a breeze and a chance for a morning shower. And then notice these cooler numbers for Friday into the weekend. Most of the weekend is rain-free. Could be a stray shower on Sunday. We're going to check it for you starting at 4 a.m.
We really have to commend the gas station staff for shutting off the pumps and breakers to those pumps as well, so that the situation didn't get worse before we got here.
Today's storm damage extended into Farmington Hills. Look at this. This is a Citgo station at the corner of 10 Mile and Middle Belt. It collapsed this afternoon. The canopy did there, with vehicles parked right underneath it. It even sparked a fire. We're told one person suffered minor injuries. From the looks of the damage, it definitely, obviously, could have been a lot worse.
Also developing tonight, a 14-year-old is shot in Detroit, but there are now questions over who pulled the trigger.
Why is that? Well, it's possible the bullet came from an officer's weapon. Fox 2's Dave Kinchin with what we know now.
So I'm calling the people that live in the neighborhood like, hey, do you know what's going on over here? Because it's some police in the field.
Neighbors watched with palpable concern as police worked part of O'Hare Park in the area of Granville and Trojan in northwest Detroit, where investigators say a man was shooting at people on a rainy Wednesday afternoon.
Usually, if it wasn't raining, there are football games practicing going on, and the park is filled with kids. It's filled with people because they're over there training.
It would be the start of a wild scene and police chase spanning nearly 3 miles across the city.
I saw that it was like 4 police cars over there by the woods. So I'm thinking, like, are they looking for someone?
Police say the man suspected in the shooting was in a gray Jeep Cherokee that would end up looking for a second person who was spotted in a second Cherokee. Officers on scene searched the area for the SUVs, later encountering one that matched the description. They tried to stop it, but found themselves chasing it instead. Detectives say video from the area shows an officer fired at least one shot as the Jeep headed toward the officer's car before going around it.
Every time you turn around, somebody getting killed, somebody getting shot.
The chase continued for several more blocks before stopping due to a flat tire. At that point, police say the suspects took off on foot. Police focusing their search in the area of Bentler and Pembroke. We're told 5 people were found and arrested, including someone who was shot in the leg. They were hospitalized in stable condition. Cops finding several guns, including one AR-style long gun and one AR-style pistol.
You got to do the outreach to the new generation that's coming in. So how do we connect to that generation?
Detroit police say they're still trying to figure out if the person who got shot was hit in the earlier shooting or from the officer who fired their service weapon. Meantime, neighbors say things have definitely changed in their community with the younger generation.
You act like prison is cool to go to. If that's the case, go knock on the prison door and say, let me in, because that's basically what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. And our sources tell us the person who was shot is a 14-year-old. We don't know their exact relationship to this entire situation. We do know that this is the 4th officer-involved shooting within the past 2 weeks. At police headquarters, Dave Kinchin on The Edge.
Well, it's been considered one of the biggest scams in Detroit history.
And now the former CFO for the Riverfront Conservancy appears in federal court. William Smith was seen leaving his arraignment today, accused of embezzling nearly $40 million over an 11-year period. Smith was fired from his post last week. He had been put on unpaid leave in April over fears about potential financial mismanagement. Today, he was given a personal bond.
Let me make it very clear, based upon what the court looked at, he has never had a Michigan license. Ever.
New information on the man who went viral for driving during his hearing for a suspended license. It turns out Corey Harris was never able to legally drive in the first place. Harris claimed his license was suspended due to a clerical error, but records show Harris never even had a license.
I can't go into his mind and what he's thinking. All I can tell you was what I focused on was like what he's going to do to get his license. A lesson for all of us. Handle your business. At the end of the day, handle your business.
How do you handle your business? Well, the judge says in this case he wants Harris to get his license. He's expected to get out of jail tomorrow.
Ascension continues to make progress after experiencing a cyber attack last month. In a statement today, the healthcare system says it's working to restore electronic health records in Michigan by the end of next week. A cyber attack forced doctors and nurses to do everything by hand. Meanwhile, Ascension RX has already returned to normal operations. Ascension's investigation into the cyber attack is ongoing. Now, we keep talking about this, but tomorrow is officially the big day, the open house celebration for Michigan's Central Train Station.
And it's just beautiful. Tonight, we're learning more about the vision of the new and improved building. I spoke one-on-one with Bill Ford, Jr., the executive chairman, on what he thinks this renovation will mean for our city.
The people who worked on this building were magnificent. When I'd come down here during construction, the pride they took in this and the joy they took in working on this was just amazing. And they were determined to make this beautiful, and they did it. For a lot of people, it'll just be an awesome place to bring your family and friends and hang out, because it'll be beautiful. There'll be music, there'll be art, there'll be dining, there'll be bars. It'll just be a fun place to be. For Ford, it'll be a place where our best and our brightest will come and work on the future of transportation. Whatever I say today, it's going to change. It'll be totally irrelevant.
Ford has spent nearly $1 billion over the last 6 years to restore the station. You can watch the entire one-on-one interview with Bill Ford Jr. on our website, fox2detroit.com.